there, and welcome back to Prime Wealth. We're so glad you're joining us today.
Absolutely. It's great to have you here. You know, one of the most common questions we get is about retirement planning, right?
Right. And with so many tools out there, it can be overwhelming. But today we're diving into the best free retirement calculators.
Yes, these tools can really help you get a clearer picture of where you stand financially, how much you need to save, and what your retirement could look like.
Exactly. We'll discuss what to look for in a calculator, share some of our top picks, and even touch on how to interpret the results.
And we'll also talk about some common mistakes people make when using these tools so you can avoid them.
Oh, that's so important. It's all about making informed decisions, right?
Definitely. The goal here is to empower you with the information you need to build a secure financial future.
So whether you're just starting to think about retirement or you've been planning for a while, this episode is packed with practical advice.
Let's jump right into it. We'll kick things off by exploring what features make a retirement calculator really effective.
You know, Alex, I think it's really crucial for folks over 40 to start thinking about their retirement plans. I mean, the timelines can feel a bit tight, right?
Absolutely, Jordan. When you hit your 40s, retirement is no longer just a distant thought. It's becoming more of a reality. And the decisions you make now can significantly impact your future.
Exactly, and with inflation being what it is, it can feel overwhelming. The cost of living is rising, and that can make it tough to save enough, especially if you're trying to balance other financial responsibilities like kids, college tuition, or caring for aging parents.
Right, and let's not forget about the emotional side of this. There's a lot of anxiety about whether we'll have enough saved for the lifestyle we want in retirement. It's not just about the numbers. It's about peace of mind.
Yeah, I read a statistic recently that really stuck with me. About 45% of Americans say they feel anxious about their retirement savings. That's a significant number. And it's understandable given the current economic climate.
Definitely, and for many people over 40, they might be thinking, am I too late to start saving, or how much should I really be putting away? These are valid concerns, especially when you see so many headlines about economic uncertainty.
And then there's the challenge of how long we might actually live in retirement. Advances in healthcare mean people are living longer, which means we need to save more to support a longer retirement period.
Exactly. If you're planning for a retirement that could last 30 years or more, that's a significant amount of time to fund. It's crucial to have a solid plan in place, rather than just hoping for the best.
So how do retirement calculators fit into all of this? I mean, what makes them such a vital tool for someone in their 40s or even older?
Great question. Retirement calculators can provide a personalized estimate of how much you need to save based on your specific situation. They take into account your current savings, expected retirement age, and desired lifestyle, making it easier to see the bigger picture.
And that's so important, right? Because without understanding where you stand, it's hard to know what steps to take next.
Exactly. For example, if someone is 45 and wants to retire at 65, using a calculator can help them see how much they need to save each month to reach their goal. It can also factor in things like inflation, which is critical in today's economy.
I remember chatting with a listener, let's call her Sarah, who was really stressed out about her retirement savings. She felt like she had been saving, but when she plugged her numbers into a calculator, she realized she was actually on track to meet her goals, even if it didn't feel like it.
That's a perfect example. Sometimes, just having that clarity can ease a lot of stress. Even if the calculator shows that you need to increase your contributions, at least you know what the target is.
And speaking of targets, I think it's also worth noting that retirement calculators can help you set realistic expectations. If you're aiming for a lavish lifestyle in retirement, that might require a different saving strategy than someone who's planning for a more modest lifestyle.
Exactly. It's about aligning your savings goals with your life goals. And for those who might be behind on savings, it can highlight areas where they might need to cut back or find additional income streams.
I love that you mentioned finding additional income streams. That's so relevant today as people are exploring side gigs or even investing in assets that can generate passive income.
Yes, and calculators can also help map out scenarios. For instance, what if you decide to work part-time in retirement? How does that impact your savings needs? It's all about flexibility and understanding your options.
Right. And it can help people visualize different paths. Sometimes, just knowing that there are options can be empowering. especially when it comes to making choices about when to retire or how much to save.
And let's not overlook the fact that many calculators also help with tax implications. They can give insights into how your withdrawals will impact your overall tax situation in retirement, which is critical for planning.
So if someone is just getting started or reevaluating their plan, what are some of the best free retirement calculators out there that you would recommend?
There are quite a few solid options. For instance, the AARP Retirement Calculator is user-friendly and offers a comprehensive look at your savings needs. Then there's the Vanguard Retirement Nest Egg Calculator, which helps you figure out how long your savings will last based on your withdrawal rate.
Those sound really helpful. I think it's nice to have tools that are straightforward and give you a sense of control over your financial future.
Definitely. And there's also the T. Rowe Price Retirement Income Calculator, which helps you evaluate your income sources in retirement, whether it's Social Security, pensions, or your savings. It's all about creating a complete picture.
This is all such valuable information. I think we've really highlighted why understanding retirement savings now is essential for those over 40.
Right. It's about taking proactive steps to ensure financial security and freedom later in life.
So, what are some immediate actions someone can take after listening to this?
Well, first, I would recommend picking a retirement calculator that resonates with you and giving it a try. Input your numbers, see where you stand, and then think about what adjustments might be necessary.
That sounds like a great place to start. And for those who feel like they need more guidance, maybe connecting with a financial advisor could be beneficial too.
Absolutely, a financial advisor can help interpret the results and tailor a plan to fit your unique situation.
So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together. So Alex, when we talk about retirement calculators, what should someone look for in a good tool? I mean, there are so many out there.
Yeah, there really are. The first thing to consider is user-friendliness. You want something that's easy to navigate. You don't want to spend an hour just figuring out how to input your information, right?
Exactly. It should be intuitive. What's next after that?
Well, the calculator should allow you to customize inputs. Things like your current savings, retirement age, expected expenses, and, importantly, your expected rate of return. A good calculator lets you play around with these numbers to see how they affect your retirement savings.
Right, and I assume that having different scenarios can really help people visualize their options.
Absolutely. Some calculators even let you run what-if scenarios, like what happens if you increase your contributions by, say, 1% a year, or if you delay retirement by a couple of years to boost your savings.
That sounds super helpful. So what are some specific calculators you'd recommend?
One popular option is the AARP Retirement Calculator. It's user-friendly and provides a comprehensive overview. Another good one is the Vanguard Retirement Nest Egg Calculator, which helps you see how long your savings might last based on your withdrawal rate.
Oh, I've heard of Vanguard. They have a solid reputation. What about more general tools that aren't just calculators?
Great question. You might find retirement planning software that includes calculators, like Personal Capital. It's more of a financial dashboard. You can connect your accounts and track your net worth, which can be really insightful.
I love that idea. So it's not just about calculating retirement savings, but also about having a big picture view of your finances.
Exactly. And another good option is the Smart Asset Retirement Calculator. It gives you a more detailed breakdown of your projected expenses and income sources in retirement.
That's interesting. Are there any specific steps someone should take when using these calculators?
Definitely. First, start by gathering your financial data. That means your current savings, any pensions, Social Security estimates, and your expected retirement expenses.
Sounds straightforward. What's next after gathering that info?
Input your current savings and adjust the retirement age. Then, enter your expected annual expenses in retirement. This can be a bit tricky, but think about healthcare, housing, travel, and hobbies. It's important to be realistic.
Yeah, I imagine people often underestimate their expenses.
Exactly. And once you have that, you can play around with different scenarios. For example, try increasing your savings rate or changing your retirement age to see how it impacts your overall plan.
That's a great way to see the long-term effects of those decisions.
It really is. And once you've got a solid plan, it's a good idea to revisit the calculator every few years or anytime there's a major life change.
Right, life changes can really affect your financial situation. What would you say about the accuracy of these calculators, though?
Well, that's an important consideration. While calculators can provide a good estimate, they rely on inputs based on assumptions. Market returns, inflation rates, and unexpected expenses can all vary. So think of them as a starting point, rather than the final answer.
That makes sense. It's more about creating a financial roadmap than finding an exact destination.
Exactly. And don't forget about including a buffer in your calculations. It's smart to plan for unexpected expenses or changes in lifestyle. You know, life can throw curveballs.
Yeah, like medical emergencies, or even just wanting to travel more than you originally planned.
Right, and that's where having a solid emergency fund can help too. It's always a good idea to have a few months' worth of living expenses saved up.
So having that buffer allows you to adjust your retirement plans if something unexpected comes up?
Exactly. It gives you flexibility. And speaking of flexibility, make sure you're also considering inflation in your calculations. Sometimes people forget that what you can buy today won't be the same in 20 years.
Inflation can really chip away at your savings if you're not mindful of it.
For sure. That's why it's crucial to factor in an expected inflation rate. A common rule of thumb is to use about 3% annually, but it can vary.
So if someone is using a calculator, they should include that in their projections, right?
Yes, definitely. It's all about being realistic. And speaking of realism, I think a lot of people tend to underestimate how long they may live after retirement.
Oh, absolutely. With advancements in healthcare, many people are living well into their 80s and 90s.
Right, and that's another reason to make sure your retirement savings can last. A good calculator should allow you to input your life expectancy to see how it impacts your withdrawal strategy.
So it's like planning for a long road trip. You have to make sure you have enough gas to get to your destination.
Exactly. And don't forget about adjusting your portfolio as you near retirement. The closer you get, the more conservative you might want to be with your investments.
Right. Protecting what you've built is key as you approach those retirement years.
Exactly. Keeping a balanced approach in those final years can make a huge difference.
So, what are some common pitfalls people should be aware of when using these calculators?
Well, one big one is being overly optimistic about returns. Many people assume they'll get 8 to 10% returns every year, but that's not always realistic.
That's a great point.
Another pitfall is ignoring taxes. Taxes can eat into your retirement withdrawals, so it's important to consider how taxes will affect your income.
I hadn't thought about that.
And finally, not revisiting your plan regularly can be detrimental. Life changes, market fluctuations, and personal goals evolve. So it's crucial to keep checking in on your retirement plan.
Definitely. Keeping it updated makes sure you stay on track.
So those are some common pitfalls to keep in mind. Now let's bring everything together in the outro.
You know, Alex, it seems like retirement calculators can be super helpful, but they also come with their own set of pitfalls, right?
Absolutely, Jordan. It's easy to get wrapped up in the numbers and overlook some of the nuances. One common mistake is assuming that retirement calculators can predict the future with 100% accuracy.
Right. It's like looking at a crystal ball, but we know that life throws curveballs.
Exactly. For instance, many calculators ask for your expected retirement age, but they often don't account for unexpected health issues or changes in job status.
Yeah, I can see how that could throw a wrench in your plans.
And then there's the issue of inflation. Many people forget to factor in how inflation can erode purchasing power over time.
That's a big one. I mean, what seems like a comfortable nest egg today can feel drastically different in 20 years.
Exactly. For example, if someone thinks they can retire comfortably on $1 million today, they might not realize that with an average inflation rate of 3%, that million would only have the purchasing power of about $600,000 in 20 years.
Wow, that's a huge drop. It's kind of like a slow leak in your tire. You don't notice it at first, but eventually it makes a big difference.
That's a great analogy. Another common mistake is underestimating expenses in retirement. People often focus on their current expenses and think they'll just maintain that same lifestyle.
But what about healthcare costs? Those can skyrocket as we age.
Exactly, and many calculators just don't account for those rising healthcare costs, which can be significant. One client I worked with thought they'd need about $40,000 a year in retirement. After we took a closer look at their potential healthcare expenses, that number jumped to $70,000.
That's a startling difference. So what do you recommend for people to do to avoid these pitfalls?
Well, it's essential to take a holistic approach. Make sure you're not just focusing on one calculator. Use multiple tools and always try to adjust your estimates based on your unique situation.
That makes sense. It's like getting a second opinion from a doctor, right?
Exactly. And when you're using these calculators, look for the underlying assumptions they're making. For example, some calculators might use a fixed rate of return that doesn't reflect the market's ups and downs.
Yes, and that can lead to overestimating how much you'll have when you retire.
Right, and that's what happened to one couple I know. They relied on a calculator that assumed a consistent 8% return, which is pretty optimistic. When the market didn't deliver, they found themselves underfunded and scrambling to adjust their retirement plans.
That sounds stressful. How can people spot these danger signs before it's too late?
One way is to regularly review your retirement projections. If you notice that your projected income in retirement is significantly higher than what you're currently saving, that's a red flag.
So it's kind of like a checkup for your finances?
Exactly. Regular checkups can help you catch issues early. Also, if you find yourself making assumptions about your lifestyle without doing the math, like thinking you'll travel more or spend more on hobbies, take a step back and really analyze those expenses.
That's a good point. Sometimes we dream big without considering the costs involved.
For sure. And it's also crucial to remember that retirement isn't just a financial event, it's a life transition. People often underestimate the emotional and lifestyle adjustments they'll need to make.
Like suddenly having all that time on their hands. That can be a huge adjustment.
Definitely. If you're not prepared for that shift, it can lead to dissatisfaction, even if you're financially set. I've seen clients get bored or feel aimless after retiring because they didn't have a plan for how they'd spend their time.
So it's not just about the money, but about having a fulfilling retirement life too.
Exactly. And another pitfall I see is people thinking that Social Security will cover all their expenses. It's important to understand that it's designed to supplement retirement income, not fully fund it.
Right, so counting on it as your primary source of income could be a risky bet.
Yes, and with the potential for changes in Social Security benefits in the future, it's wise to have a diversified income strategy that includes other investments or savings.
It sounds like a balanced approach is really key.
It absolutely is. And speaking of diversification, many retirement calculators don't account for different asset classes and their varying risks.
Like stocks versus bonds, right?
Exactly. If you're too conservative or too aggressive in your approach, it can skew your retirement projections. A balanced portfolio can help mitigate some of that risk.
So if someone realizes they've made some of these mistakes, what's their next step?
First, they should take a deep breath and not panic. It's never too late to reevaluate and adjust your strategy. Start by gathering all your financial information, your savings, investments, and any projected income sources.
And then what?
From there, it's helpful to reassess your goals and timelines. If your original calculations seem off, run the numbers again using more conservative estimates for returns and expenses.
That sounds like a solid plan. It's all about being proactive, right?
Exactly. And don't hesitate to consult with a financial advisor to help you navigate these adjustments. They can provide personalized insights that calculators alone can't offer.
So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together. So now that we've talked about some great retirement calculators, let's dive into some immediate steps listeners can take to start using these tools effectively.
Absolutely, Jordan. One of the first things I recommend is to gather all your financial information. You know, things like your current savings, investments, and any retirement accounts. Having a clear picture of where you stand is crucial.
Right, so it's like taking inventory before you start planning your next steps. What else should they consider?
Well, once you have that information, I'd suggest setting a specific retirement goal. It could be a target retirement age or a desired income level in retirement. Having that goal in mind can really help shape how you use these calculators.
That makes sense. So let's say someone wants to retire at 65. What's next?
They could start by using a retirement calculator like the ones we mentioned earlier. Input your current savings, expected contributions, and the age you want to retire. That'll give you a clearer picture of whether you're on track or need to adjust your saving strategy.
And it's important to remember that these calculators often have different assumptions, right? Like investment returns or inflation rates.
Exactly. It's a good idea to try different scenarios. For instance, what if you increase your contributions by a small percentage? Or what if you delay your retirement by a year or two?
I see how that could change things significantly. It's like testing out different paths before deciding on one.
Yes. And speaking of paths, I'd also recommend looking into retirement planning apps. Some popular ones include Personal Capital, Mint, or even the budgeting features in some banking apps. They can help you track your spending and savings in real time, which is super helpful.
Those sound great. Are there any specific features in these apps that people should pay attention to?
Definitely. Look for features that allow for goal setting and tracking. Personal Capital, for example, gives you a holistic view of your finances, including investments, which is really useful.
And that can help with adjusting your plans as life changes, right?
Exactly. Life happens, and your financial goals may need to be tweaked along the way.
What about books or resources? Any recommendations for listeners who want to dive deeper into retirement planning?
Sure. The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey is a classic for budgeting and debt elimination, which is foundational for retirement savings. Another great book is How Much Money Do I Need to Retire by Todd Tresider. It really breaks down the numbers in a relatable way.
Those sound super helpful. And it's always nice to have a solid resource to refer back to.
Absolutely. And as they read, they should start building some habits. For instance, setting aside a specific time each month to review their financial goals and adjust their retirement plan if needed.
That's a good habit to develop. Consistency can make a huge difference over time.
Right. And another small step could be automating contributions to retirement accounts. Setting up automatic transfers can help ensure you're consistently saving without having to think about it.
Love that. It makes it easier to stay on track.
And one more thing I'd suggest is to connect with a financial advisor, even if it's just for an initial consultation. They can provide personalized advice that calculators and apps can't always offer.
That's an interesting point. It's like having a coach to guide you through your financial journey.
Exactly, and they can help clarify any doubts you might have about your retirement strategy.
So, to recap what we've discussed, gather your financial information, set clear retirement goals, use retirement calculators and apps, read some recommended books, develop good financial habits, and consider consulting a financial advisor.
Yes, and don't forget to experiment with different scenarios in the calculators. It's all about finding what works best for you and adapting as needed.
So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together.
So to wrap things up, we've covered quite a bit on retirement calculators today, right?
Absolutely. We talked about how these tools can really help you understand your retirement needs and set realistic goals.
Yeah, and remember, using these calculators isn't just about crunching numbers. It's about visualizing your future, seeing where you stand, and making adjustments as needed.
Right. And we emphasize the importance of considering various factors like your lifestyle choices, potential healthcare costs, and even inflation.
Exactly. And don't forget about the different types of calculators available. There's something for everyone, whether you're just starting to plan or are a few years out from retirement.
And it's crucial to revisit these tools regularly, right? Life changes, and so do your financial needs.
For sure. Staying proactive can really make a difference in achieving that financial security you're aiming for.
So as you're diving into these calculators, keep in mind that they're just a starting point. It's the actions you take afterward that count.
Definitely. And don't hesitate to reach out to a financial advisor if you want more personalized guidance along the way.
And if you found this episode helpful, we'd love for you to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, share your thoughts with us in the comments.
Yeah. And if you know someone who's over 40 and could benefit from this info, share it with them too. You never know who might need that nudge to start planning.
Next time, we'll dive into a really interesting topic: delaying retirement, pros and extra savings. It's going to be enlightening, so you won't want to miss it.
Absolutely. We look forward to exploring that with you.
Until then, keep planning for that bright future ahead.
Take care, everyone.